So we got some new Transformers Siege reveals through a website called Baidu. They released a whole bunch of, I guess we'll call them control images and promotional images for a bunch of upcoming Transformers Siege product. Now, some of this stuff that we have here, we've known already, specifically Greenlight, and we kind of had an inkling of what was going to go on with that Voyager Starscream because we were going to get a Skywarp sooner or later.
Complete them. Complete the three.
Yeah, complete the trio and then add afterwards. But there's two here that are surprises, at least, or stuff that we didn't know about initially. And that is of a G2 Sideswipe, obviously a repaint of the Siege G1 Sideswipe colors, and that of Deluxe Slamdance, which is a clever use of the Transformers Power of the Primes Skytread. Yeah. And it's pretty clever the way that they thought this one up because, I mean, it's something where you look at Skytread and you go, okay, it's a combiner team, a la, we'll call it the Super Link style, where, you know, there's someone on the top, there's someone on the bottom in the robot mode. One turns into a jet, one turns into a tank. What could you repaint out of this? You know, do we leave them as individuals? You know, like, what do we do? How do we do something with this? And they were pretty clever because, you know, you go through Transformers lore and then you find yourself in 1988 where there was a pair of Autobot cassettes, that of Grand Slam and Rain Dance, that turned into, you know, Grand Slam or Slam Dance, you know? And it's pretty smart because Grand Slam turned into some kind of like hover tank and Rain Dance turned into some kind of jet, and they both turned into cassettes, and they both combined to make a top and bottom robot. So it's pretty smart what's going on here.
It works out in the end, basically.
And it's also something that Hasbro likes to do. That I remember Aaron Archer many years ago, he said that a lot of times when they do a repaint of something, they like to have the repaint be something of the other faction. It was something that they did as far back as Cybertron, where they'd be like, okay, if this character was a Decepticon or a Predacon or whatever, when we do the repaint, we like it if it could be the other side of the fence, if possible. And so that's pretty cool that they managed to pull that off here and really dig deep into Transformers lore to find something that'll be appropriate too, and not just a shallow, you know, repaint and just make it, you know, okay, we'll just we'll call the Jetfire and we'll call the tank Bludgeon, and we'll have to make up a story of why they're combining together. And it's pretty clever too, because when you compare it to, let's say, the actual Slam Dance mold, like, excuse me, not Slam Dance, Skytread, what it was originally, there's little clever ways how they get, you know, a different look in the end. And that's through the accessories, essentially. In that the original Grand Slam, the original hover tank that this is based from, the old cassette, had two guns, like two chrome guns. So by giving him these two chrome guns here, it kind of gives this tank a different look than that of Skytread's tank. So it's pretty smart how they're doing things here. It's a nice twist on the concept, and it creates a brand new character and an update of a super obscure character in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The second one, and this is the one that we shouldn't be too shocked, and we've kind of seen this homage done a few times already before, but that of a G2 Sideswipe. Now, I mean, the best G2 Sideswipe version I think any person could own is that of the Masterpiece one. The Masterpiece one is 90s as hell.
Yeah, you get those added shoulder spike plates.
The
very metal.
wheel.
Was it heavy metal? Very like that-esque. And then you get the big chunky machine guns that he gets.
And the
very 90s.
The very 90s drawn face. Even the face sculpt was a brand new face sculpt.
I'm screaming at the top of my lungs while I'm shooting.
So
Rambo.
So what we get here instead is you get a brand new, we'll call it exclusive, repaint of one of the Battle Masters or Target Masters to come with him instead. Maybe it's to represent in a small way the missile launchers that came exclusively with the G2 versions of some of the G1 repaints from that first year of Generation 2. Maybe that's what it's trying to fill in. But I mean, it's a very nice repaint. And if you don't own that Generation 2 version, which if this Siege one interests you, I heavily suggest try to track down the Masterpiece one, because the Masterpiece one is incredible.
Super worth it.
Yeah, super.
I love it. It's so good.
And it's crazy when you think about it, because it's a repaint based on something that only America would be familiar with. Like it's not only that, it's like I don't know how in the know Japan is of like comic books in the 90s, you know.
I don't know. I want to believe that you'd have a few people like how we nerd out about Sakamoto-san's stuff.
No, but
I'm
I mean,
sure there's equivalencies in Japan where they're like, oh, check out this. Oh my God, the toy is literally that. You know what I mean? Like,
no, but
like I'm not saying that there's enough people to sell like a reasonable amount to be like, yeah, we made profit off of this. But I'm pretty sure there's enough.
I wonder
like
how many people in Japan are aware of, like, you know, Rob Layfield's art style in the 90s and pockets and pouches and you know what I mean, like that 90s art
like,
style.
For them to put pencil to paper and then paper to mold and then mold into actual like product, I'm pretty like there has to be. I don't know what they're gauging, but to be like, all right, let's do this. We'll do this with this mold instead of just doing a different. Because I mean, if they just want to do a simple recolor, they've done it already. You know, they've done like what, 4 of these. The Masterpiece ones.
But that's what was so fascinating about the Masterpiece one, is that they didn't just like, before they did this G2 Sideswipe years ago. I think it was 2009. I want to say they did the Marvel Grimlock Masterpiece colors, which was they took the Masterpiece Grimlock and they gave it like his Marvel Comics colors, and we called it King Grimlock for a couple of years.
Okay.
And I used to always say, like, wow, it's kind of interesting how Japan gets this exclusive repaint of Grimlock from a comic that they never got ever in English, let alone ever.
Yeah.
And this was especially at a time when, like, you know, the internet today is a lot more interconnected and you could find anything now because of YouTube and stuff. But back in like 2008, 2009, that wasn't really the case. And so it was really fascinating that they did that. But at the end of the day, all it was they just repainted Grimlock and they gave him a crown.
Yeah.
This one, the G2 one, like, they went out of their way to give the 90s
accessories.
The 90s guns, not just guns, but like 90s oversized, crazy, like Cable X-Force guns. Then they gave like the 90s inspired, like, you know, Andrew Wildman face. You know, they gave like the spiked wheels because it's extreme 90s.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they went,
and those wheels don't even show up in the alt mode either.
No? Oh no! It's just
like, even in the comic book, it doesn't even do that. He just has them.
It's just for fun. All it's missing is a bandolier. You know?
Yeah.
You know? But it's just, the way that I see it is like, they put all that energy and everything for something that ended up being exclusively only in Japan, and again, a comic that never was translated over there officially, never was released there officially. So I always found that fascinating. Where it's like, this is great. I mean, it's cool to still get a G2 Sideswipe, you know, locally and affordably. We've got a lot of G2 homages already from the past, like mainline generations kind of stuff. We got like G2 aerial bots, we got G2 Stunticons. So it's there. That stuff is there. It's out there, and Hasbro shows always interest now doing G2 repaints. But I mean, again, if you like G2 Sideswipe, this thing is cool, but man, go out of your way and get that G2 Sideswipe Masterpiece.
It is so worth it.
It is amazing. And again, of the other stuff that was revealed here, again, like I said, the Voyager Skywarp. I don't know. I don't know if the Skywarp comes with these 3 exclusive Battle Masters, which are repaints of Fire Drive, Aimless, and for Paraxodon, but as it stands right now, it looks like maybe they come with it. Maybe it's just to make, you know, to make it a little more special than Starscream, is to give them a little something extra. but that's what it looks like here. But maybe they're just sold in a 3-pack. It's not really said yet.
I would assume it's a 3-pack.
Maybe. There's no listing right now saying like, but I mean, as it stands right now, at least with the 2 ones here with the G2 Sideswipe and the Slamdance, this is some awesome stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it, especially the Slamdance. Very clever use of the Skytread mold. G2 Sideswipe, not shocked by it, but still something that I know people will appreciate and enjoy. Anything else you want to add to this?
No, these look pretty badass, and I'm excited. Like, I don't know if I'll rebuy the Slamdance, but I don't know. Maybe I will. It depends.
If it's affordable.
I'll definitely get the Skywarp. That's my dude.